Welcome back, fellow reefers, to episode 2 of our Reefing Journal. Today is December 15th, 2021, and we're going to talk about some changes we've made, and hopefully they were good changes, they are not bad changes, but we won't know until we try, right? So let's move on down this way so we can essentially see what we've done. First things first, which is really important, we put some Reef Spec Carbon in from Red Sea, and this was only because we ordered the Pureit from Brightwell Aquatics. That won't be here till Friday, but a viewer had left a comment saying to use the Pureit because he was in the same situation as we're currently in, and he said it worked great for him. So we're going to give that a shot, but until Friday, I at least like to get some sort of carbon in here. Try to save what we can. So moving on, what else did we do here? The carbon is currently in its bag over here, but we finally put the two-part in action probably about 3 or 4 days ago. I was manually dosing by hand, so we decided that what we want to do is pretty much get out the Bubble Magus, let it do the dirty work. All we have to do is keep our containers full of KH calcium and let the doser dose. On top of that, another viewer had left a comment earlier today regarding the CPR Aquatics overflow. Now, early in the year, we did a video about the overflow and essentially the Tom's Aqua Lifter pump, how the pump went bad and, you know, the overflow stopped working. So I told him what I would do, because he was wondering, you know, I have the YouTube now from Eshopps on there, and he said, well, what happens if you have a power outage? Do you have to restart the YouTube? And so far, I think we might have had maybe 2 power outages, nothing substantial, you know, maybe 10 minutes long. But I told him I would simulate a power outage so we can take a look at the YouTube, how it holds the water, and then we will restart the return pump and let him see how, as it's filling up, it starts on its own. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come over here. First thing I'm going to do on my apex is I want to shut off this skimmer. Guys, do not forget to turn off your skimmer when you do this. The last time I turned off my skimmer, I forget what it was for. I turned off the skimmer and I turned off the return pump. No, correction. I turned the return pump off and I left the skimmer going. Lo and behold, you know, I did what I had to do. And then when I was done, I turned the return pump on and looked at the thing and noticed it was like a bubble bath. I mean, my skimmer just overflowed from all the water in the sump, just, you know, filling up whenever the return pump had shut off. All the water in the tank came down in the sump. So whatever you do, guys, make sure that you turn off your skimmer. Skimmer should be shutting off. As you can see, skimmer shut off. Now I'm going to turn off the return pump. Return pump is off. So if we come down this way, you're going to hear the ATO, which is going to be pretty damn annoying, I'm telling you now. But if you come around this side, we're going to take a look, and I'm going to lift this up here. I'm going to hold this up and see if my camera girl here can take a step up on the steps so we can get a good look at that YouTube. we're going to cut the video here just for shortly for about 5 minutes, just so we can let this aquarium drain. She'll pan down a little bit so you can see the water height inside the aquarium is starting to lower down, but it's still draining into the overflow slightly. Okay, we're back after the tank had some time to essentially drain. So as you can see, the U-tube still has this water in there. It does some sort of vacuum or something. It holds the water inside there, and on the side you can see there's nothing draining anymore down into the overflow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step down and I'm going to turn on the return pump, and we'll film it just as, like, you know, the power's coming back on. Alright guys, we're turning on the return pump right now, and this is very important. Do not turn your skimmer on yet. You're going to want to wait until your sump goes back down to the level that it was at. If not, your skimmer's just going to go bananas and overflow. So we're going to turn on the return pump now. Here we go. Let me get closer here. We'll see the water actually start to pump in over the edge of that plate in there. Should only take a few seconds. Slowly starting now. I don't know if you can see it trickling over that plate, but the water's starting to trickle. It's getting more and more. So as you can see, it's not 100% at this moment, just because there's still, you know, a good amount, probably 10 gallons of water left in my sump that needs to go back up into the main, but the water's starting to flow faster. And of course, as more water gets up in there, the siphons are going to be faster. There you go. So as you can see that I hope this helps that viewer out to basically see that I didn't have to prime that at all. It basically, the power was simulated to be off. We turned it back on. It started up on its own. So now what I want to do is, the only thing that's left to do is to turn my skimmer back on, which I think it might be safe to do now. It's a little bit higher than this. Here's my line I like to keep my level at for the return chamber. We're a little bit higher, but let me see here. I'll turn the skimmer on. Hopefully it doesn't go bananas. Skimmer's on, as you can see. Starting to fire up. ATO is just shut off, no more annoying noise. Skimmer looks okay. And with that being said, so until then, we'll see you on the next one.